So Cornelia started with an interesting origin story. So we actually, last year in July, we had under contract. They wanted 300, we wanted less, we settled on 290. We went through due diligence like we always do. We had 7 people show up, and that one, the seller really didn't want to ever leave the house. So we had 15 people in the house with him and his family, right? And so they're just like, yeah, we'll just be by the couch or we're over here, right? So we had to kind of shuffle around them, which is not normal. So then we found like another 30 grand worth of stuff, like the AC wasn't good, or some other stuff in the house came up. Upon inspection, that was like $30,000 worth. So we asked for a reduction from 290 to 260. They were like, no, we're not doing that, right? So we're like, okay, well, what do you want to do? They go, we'll cancel the deal, done. So that was in July. I keep tabs, like anytime a property is not accepted, we have a follow-up process. So we keep tabs, right? And it was me doing that at the time. So I was like, every once in a while, I just text realtor like, hey, how's it going? You up? And so a month goes by, a month and a half goes by. She comes back with like, hey, would you be willing to do it at 280, right? So I was like, listen, like it's 30 grand worth of work. I don't think you sent like 10 grand is not going to get us there, right? We could do like 265 maybe. We eat 5 grand. But your house just is what it is, right? And they're like, oh, I'm not sure, this and that. 275, I go, I don't think you understand. We just can't do that, right? And so we went back and forth like this for 2 weeks. We settled at 265, like that's as much as we could do. They're at 270, and there's just like a stalemate at 5 grand, right? We let that sit for like 2 weeks. Then finally I was like, okay, this was like maybe September, October. I was like, look, if we can buy this, and also, the sellers didn't have to move right away because they lived there with their kids were in the area. Their grandkids would come over every day. Like they were pretty comfortable. They just kind of wanted to downsize and not live close to their family because they're really close, but just downsize, not have as much cleaning and all this stuff to worry about. The stairs, I think, were a big problem. There wasn't a room on the first floor, and they were getting older, right? So they just wanted to leave, but they weren't in a rush. So I was like, okay, if you're not in a rush, I don't want to buy this property that we're going to flip to buy it in October, have it ready for December, only to sell into the worst market, right? The winter market. So I was like, hey, if we buy it in December, we can then finish the reno by like late January, maybe early February, and put it on the market in February, which is the best time to put properties on the market. So okay, look, we'll pay the 5 grand if you're willing to wait another 2 months. And they're like done. So we ended up buying this late December, right? This was my partner's capstone course. So that was our 6th property to buy together as a group. We'd done 5 other deals, 2 flips, 3 rentals, and they completed all of them. We'd exited, so we either refinanced and rented, or we had sold those flips, right? So we were like to start the next phase of our partnership, right? So I told them, like, this is kind of your capstone course. You guys run the construction, you guys make your decisions, you guys run it together, right? But you guys run this, and I'll be here to make sure nothing catastrophic happens, but this is up to you, right? So they got 125 grand worth of work done in 7 weeks, but they made some key choices that led to some issues, okay? One of them, for instance, was they didn't do the roof. It wasn't leaking, but it didn't look great. And they thought if the snow was going to stay on it, no one's going to see that the roof looks a little bit weird. We'll sell it. We'll save the money on the roof. We have to level out the floors on the 1st and 2nd floor anyway, so we can use that money there. I can fix the AC because it's the wintertime. No one's going to know. Okay, well, not the way I would have done it, but sure they did that, right? So those 2 things, didn't fix the AC, didn't fix the roof. Well, we didn't get a lot of snow this year. So from day 1, everyone kind of knew that it looked a little wonky, right? And they didn't course correct for a while. So it's okay. I remind them once in a while, like, hey, what do you want to do with this? La la. Finally, and they kept tumbling the price, right? Because they used up the money on whatever, all the stuff they did besides the roof and the AC. They used up the money elsewhere. Okay. Well, now it's sitting in the market for like 4 or 5 months. Keep tumbling the price, right? And it's like, well, hey guys, have you considered doing the roof and the AC? And they're like, oh, yeah, we can probably do that now. I go, okay, well, then let's do it now, right? So then we're over budget, this and that. So it's like, okay, well, where do we get this money? So we can raise short-term money. Again, we have the money to do it, but it wasn't allocated for that purpose. So it's like, okay, we don't want to do that. So we do is end up borrowing. Sometimes we do these like small money deals where like people can invest for like 5, 10 grand, something like that, if we have a small need in the business like this. Whereas we don't have to use our capital from other places, right? Or personal savings, whatever. We put in there. There's enough spread in the deal. Once it sells, we can pay that person back with interest, no problem. So sometimes we do these kind of small opportunities where people can get involved in a small way to test us out. If you want to test things out, the best way of seeing how you work with someone is to work with them. So that's one way of doing it. And that's what we did. We raised 10 grand from a guy we think we will do business with long term, but didn't want to put up a ton of money, in his opinion, now. So he's like, hey, is there anything small? And sure enough, 2 weeks later, this comes up. So we raised that money. We just finished the roof. The AC will be done at some point this month because it's busy season. It's hot. And so, but we updated all the marketing material, this and that, and it's at a good price point. So we do feel like it's going to sell now. There's nothing else to do. And we're right where we thought the lender would sell it for. We got a lot of brokers' price opinions, but what we think we should sell for, we're right in line with those, right? So now it's just a matter of time, but these are the ups and downs. Every project you'll have to make choices, right? You have to know why you're making it, and then if those original assumptions change, you have to change with it fast. If you're gonna do it anyway, just do it today, right? Like my mom always says that like rancid food just smells worse the more you leave it out. You just gotta get rid of it. Just do it now. That who knows, if we would have found a buyer 4 months ago, you can't know. But what I can tell you is we would have given ourselves a better shot 4 months ago than we did for those 4 months with having that impairment. And people don't want to buy a, 500-600 grand house with the roof looking gnarly. That has to be replaced in the next 5 years or so, right? That's not gonna work. So it's okay, like it's a learning experience, and that's their capstone course. So it's still on the market now, and hopefully we'll have it sold here pretty soon. All signs say we will, but no one's gonna buy it till they buy it. Hope that helps. So at the end of the day, when you got a bunch of decisions that you gotta make anyway, make them fast, move on. Trust me, like the emotional stress is not worth it.